Facebook. My name is Einat. I'm interviewing this time Kerstin Jakobsson. If you noticed, I spell it very differently than the way I pronounce it. It's because Kerstin is Swedish. She will talk about her residency, honor residency in Sweden, and about residencies in general. Hello, Kerstin. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, you said my name is Kerstin Jakobsson, and I'm living in the most southern part of Sweden. And I have been an artist all my life. I think as a kid I wanted to be an artist even if I didn't know what an artist was. So that's have been my life working. I call myself a conceptual artist. But my main interest is textile and the connection between women and creativity and textile as an expression. But nowadays I'm not working as much producing art, but producing art projects through the residency of art. And
yes, sorry, I didn't know I'm interrupting.
Yes, and ARMA stands for Art and Nature, and so we are connecting art with a specific area where I live, and so it's surrounding the little village of Holmösa, and the area is called the Avian Kingdom. So we are working to promote this
before
area.
you continue to tell us about Arna, I'm interested to know how you became from an artist to make a residency. What made the switch, or if there was any switch?
I think I grew up on a farm, so for me the connection to nature is very natural. So living in an area with very big nature values for the bird life, it was a very easy switch for me to say, why don't we start an artist in residency in this area and connect contemporary art with the nature here. So I think that's with my background, both being an artist and being a kind of farmer. I still own some forest where I grew up. So I'm still a bit of a farmer. So that's an easy connection for me to do.
So you're describing yourself a little bit as an artist and a farmer. And I understand you came to Harlosa at a very later stage of your life?
I have been living here, I think it's for 26 years. And me and my husband, we looked for a big house where I could have a studio. And that was Harlosa. We found that space in. So actually we didn't move here because of the nature. We moved here because we needed a big house to have a family and not too far away from this world. So it's
not far from the big city, which is Malmö in your case, right?
Yeah, yes, Malmö and Copenhagen. So as we are living in the most southern part of Sweden, we are very close to Denmark.
So can you tell us a little bit about Arna, how it works? A little bit how Arna works.
Yeah. Arna, we are a non-profit organization. So the name of the organization is Arna Italian. I spoke a little bit in Sweden. And Arna, as I said, it stands for Art and Nature. The non-profit organization, I am the chairman, and I'm also the director of the residency. And the organization, we actually work with a lot more than the residency. And if you see behind me, you can see there's a lot of notes, and that's actually all the different projects we are running or want to run through ARNA. And the residency is it's the core of our work. So I think actually just behind me I have that's the residency projects for 2015.
What do you look for in the projects? What is the sort of project you're trying to encourage or?
We are always connecting the projects to the area here. So it's always about nature, or we say the residency is about to explore and to express humans' relationships towards nature. So and the art is very good at that. We use those values through art to explore and more about not only the area here, but for general. We're also making a lot of cooperation projects with both governmental and small non-profit organizations. It's a wide range, and that have grown quite fast through this 5 years we have been working. So we are a young organization. We have managed to do a lot through different types of funding. So always we work through projects, and of course that's the way how the life is organized nowadays. You can apply for a project, and if granted you can do that. But we always work in the same direction, is to connect with nature values. I could also say the area here is, there's a vision for it to become a new UNESCO biosphere area. And that's when you are a biosphere area, you always work around sustainable development.
So can you maybe share with us a few projects that you had laid in your residency that you feel that really capture what ARNA is all about?
I could give you one example. We are situated very close to a big army training field. And that training field is also a kind of nature preserve. So it's a very open area. As a citizen and a visitor, you can walk wherever you want in this army training field for heavy vehicles, as tanks and so forth. So we made an art project where artists made their interpretations of the nature of the army training field. And at the same time we cooperated with the military and the government to talk about the nature in the area. So we met around a specific place that was an army field. I know for sure that that was the first art project developed on an army training field. And that's because it's a very special nature and it's open. So we also made information and exhibitions about the nature, but still it is an army training field.
Can you tell us who's the audience? Let's say there's a resident who come to explore ARNA, the nature of it, the military there. Who does that person interact with, except suppose those who make ARNA work?
For that project, the target group, that was the people who living around that training field, so all the people living in the villages around those very grassland. And when the artists came, of course, all the connections went through our organization as ARMA. So we have also, because we are living here, of course, we know people working on different places. So we started to ask people working at with the nature preserve of the training field, suggesting to make an art project about the nature. And they said, that's interesting. And then we started to apply for funding and was granted that. So it was just, it's a mix. You have to work with all your contacts to make something good and make it simple. Make it simple project to something to grow from.
For how long each resident stay in Halosa?
Usually 1 month, sometimes usually 1 month, sometimes up to 6 weeks. We haven't had any longer. That's due to funding. We have run residencies 4 summers. It will be the 5th this summer, and the latest 3 summers we have been granted funding from either through projects or from bank foundations. So they have actually given us the possibility to give accommodation grants for those artists we have chosen to take part of our projects. Also, sometimes they have had some funding for art materials, and also for us to give the opportunity for the artists to have study visits. So everything connected to the project, they didn't have to pay for, but they still have to pay for their travel expenses and their living expenses while they are here. So that's something it's of importance for us to give something back to the artists when they're coming here, because of course they also spending quite a lot of working time here. So when we have worked through projects, we have usually said we expect that you work 50% of your time here. Usually they work 120% of their time here. So that's great. That's meaning they like it. Interesting for them.
I must ask if you can. I'm sure there are many applications coming your way. Maybe you can share from your point of view, what makes a good application.
Yeah, we have had a couple of 100 applications for one summer. So of course that's a lot of people to learn to know through an application, because we have a very simple application. You can find it on our website, and you just send us an email and answer some questions. But as for one who really want to make a good application, I would say wherever you want to go to a residency, so look at their website. What are they actually doing? What do they want to do around the residency? So to make some background information, that's always good. You can show that in your application that you actually know something about the residency. That's a good thing. And the second thing is and a very important thing is actually to ask when you have questions in the application form, read it through and answer them, because not everyone actually doing it. I would say 90% they are doing it in the right way, but it's always quite many who doesn't fill in the application form and not giving us the information we're asking for. And if you don't do that, that's saying something. How interested are you actually to apply for residency?
You're asking the artist to speak to the point and answer what you are asking.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily need to be very long. And we also have musicians and residencies for musicians. And of course that takes much longer time compared to a visual residency. As a visual artist, you can go through quite quick. You have to send us 5 pictures, something that tells us quite a lot about the person and what they like to do. And of course today a lot of people are actually mixing, so they could be both musicians and photographers, and visual artists, performers.
I was about to ask that I saw in your website that you have also a musician residency. I wonder, do musician and visual artists interact with each other?
Yeah, of course could be. As I said, nowadays most artists, they are not only working in one very narrow field, most want to work in a broader field. But when we have calls for, we call it sounding residencies, so it's music and sounding art. But still people also paint. But it's also, when we are going through the applications, we hope to make good mix between, if we can take 3 or 4 at a time. We of course also hope these 3 or 4 persons would like to have a good interaction between each other. Having fun is a big thing around residencies. Meet new people, getting inspired.
Can you repeat that in very shortly, because I had a lot of sound interruption on my side?
Yeah. From where?
No, just some very in a few sentences. So I'll add up all the sounds I've heard about musicians and artists.
Okay. I would say musicians, as all artists today, are usually working in more than one field. So if we make a call for musicians, we call it sounding art, because also people are making samplings, making sampling from sounds, and that would be sounding art. They don't even call it music. So we are quite open to, even if you are a visual artist, you can make an application for a sounding residency if you have a good idea of what you would like to do. That's more important.
I have to say that I think about Arna, and really beautiful location. It's quite a place not only to make art, but to make like a music album.
Yeah.
An isolated place to dig deep.
Yeah, thank you. I think so too. We have had very good experiences with the music residencies or the sounding residencies.
A last question. How do you find the residencies in general as something that help boost artistic career? What is the addition or influence it can have on an artist?
It will influence you as an artist going to a residency. If you stay for a couple of weeks, giving that time will also mean you will get a lot of influence. I would say Influence is inspiration, and inspiration can come from the area, from here, from the nature, meeting new people, meeting the people living where the residency is situated. As here in Hala, so it's a big thing with meeting people here. So it will give you inspiration, and what you as an artist will use that inspiration for, that's up to you, but you will get inspired.
So maybe we're about to finish our interview. Maybe we want to share a few things with our audience, with the Israeli audience.
Yeah, as being an artist, I would say an important thing for us as artists is to go out there in the world, to make contacts, and to make the world a bit more nicer and more interesting place. I think that's also part of running a residence, is to let people meet people, and also through that learn to know the world, making a little bit better, I would say.
Thank you, Kerstin, for your very beautiful words. I was a resident in Arna. I can say it was a very beautiful place. I had a short visit there, and I enjoyed it very much. And as you can see, I'm still with contact with Kerstin. I hope this was an interesting conversation for you, and maybe you will still consider residencies or other residency or both. I'll say goodbye, and we are going to meet Gilad Kahana and Carmela Weiss ב-25 לפברואר. הולך להיות מעניין.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kerstin.
Yeah. Good luck with everything. I would say also to keep contact. That's also part of residency. You will meet new friends. So you're always welcome back. You have to bring all your bigger and bigger family with you.
Definitely. Next time it will be quadruple of a family.
Nice talking to you, Einat.
Okay, so we'll end the broadcast now.